Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is day 20. And I want to start this carefully because I know how some of this may sound. First off, I really am sorry if today's title comes off like clickbait. It's honestly and really not meant to be. Clickbait, that is. Today, during my practice, I had an experience that genuinely changed how I understand and look at performance singing. And as a result, it kind of genuinely changed me as well. So, this is why I say today I became a real singer. And when I'm saying that, I don't mean that anyone who sings isn't a real singer. But what I realize today is what actually is required for me to consider myself or even begin to consider myself as a professional level singer. I was completely distant from it until today. And I don't mean that I wasn't singing before any of this. I don't mean that I haven't been doing all the work. What I mean is today, for the first time, I experienced what I know about performance as a longtime actor actually working in my singing. Um, let me walk through what actually happened today. This morning's session, which is now always be prepared, it already felt different. Things were connected and immersed, and I wasn't really trying to make anything happen from the get go. It felt like I was inside the music. Instead of trying to line up with it, almost like the track was responding to me, even though I know it wasn't. But the experience of it changed. I wasn't just reacting to what I heard, but it almost felt like the singers that are canned and pre recorded were responding to the way I was performing it. And that alone was something. But the afternoon session is where things really shifted. Um, the afternoon was a primary boulevard. The calibration take was number 65. And it was already strong. Um, it came in really raised up, and the weird thing was, I had something happen that normally would have just broken everything. Right as I was in the middle of the take, my phone rang. And it wasn't just the middle of the take, it was the middle of the chorus, section 3, the one that I always struggle a bit with. And when a phone call comes in, because yay, Apple ecosystem, all audio cuts out. And that included Logic Pro, which was playing my music. I had to stop, bump the call to voicemail, and then come back in and re enter the song. But I did it. I didn't lose the connection, the thread, where I was. I didn't have to rebuild. It just was back at that level. And that just kept going. It it's something I've never been able to do before. Even casually singing, if I get thrown off, I am as ADHD as they come. It is very easy to derail me. Now, around that time, I realized something else, and that was in section 2. I had been unconsciously imitating the release vocalist from the original song. The Bass Gang, there are 4 guys singing, and I'm basically taking over as all of them. And I was unconsciously imitating them. I wasn't trying to do it, but I finally noticed that that really was happening. And once I became aware of it, I started trying to let that go. And when I stopped trying, but actually did start to let go, I could hear my own sound, my own color start to come through more clearly. It wasn't completely stable. There was a little bit of drop in focus and volume, but that was mine. As I knew point blank, I noticed something. I paid attention to it, and that was at the cost of connection. But the biggest difference was right at the start. I didn't feel like I was entering the song. I had finally got myself in the place of I'm already in the song, I'm just now letting it go. I was in it. There was no climb into the first line. I still have that little breathing problem on the sustain where I run out of air, but everything still held together. It just felt like I still haven't just checked it in yet. As I said, section two moved toward my sound. Section three is section three was the moment. Everything opened up. I stopped holding anything back, and I just let the song come out. All the notes just were there. They were actually just easy. I didn't even think about them. Honestly, and here's where it is, it was too much. I didn't even realize it in the moment, but when I looked at the waveform on Logic, I had pegged. I was clipping everything. I was literally pushing out more sound than the system could handle. But here's the thing, ignoring a microphone in Logic Pro, it was all out there. I was giving so much, and it was still intact. Everything was connected. Even when something wasn't perfect, it didn't get derailed. And that's completely different from where all of this started. Um, okay, let me finish this first. Section 4 is still catching up, but it's not falling behind. It actually is increasing as the rest of the piece increases. And it's almost like sections 1 through 3 are dragging 4 along, but it feels like it's still learning how to balance while section 3 is doing skateboard tricks already. So it wants to be better, but it doesn't have the technique locked in yet. So the biggest realization of the day, and really mind blown, one of the biggest things I felt today, and this is something I know and I have experienced countless times as an actor, but actually for the very honest first time, I felt this as a singer, as a singing performer. Um, it's okay. It's a simple theatrical performance rule. It's better while generating to let out more and then learn how to pull it back, rather than hold back and not know how far to go. Because when you hold back, you don't really know how much further you can go or even how much you should go. You're guessing. But once you go too far, once you actually have given too much, you have something real. You have a gate. You know how to pull it back. You've crossed a line. That gives you a clear sense of where the upper limit is. And you know that you already have the lower limit because you've been reaching for more. You can pull back from a set point. It becomes something finite, something reliable, something you can actually work with. It's a measure. You are now on a spectrum. Before it was just not enough, and all I was trying to figure out was, what do I need more? Now You know what too much is, you know where you're aiming. And today felt like I crossed that line as a singer. I have never, and I'm older than 25. When I say never, I mean never. I have never felt too much when singing before. Oh, sure, I've been loud and people are like, oh, quiet down, but that's obnoxiousness. It's not performance. And because of that, I've never felt like I had things to shape or mold or any of that stuff. It's always been about giving what I thought I had. And today, I finally experienced that point where it went past what was needed and it changes everything because now I actually have something to work with. All right, let me try to condense this down because I'm just spewing at this point. If I had to sum it up in one line, today I experienced what I know as performance from an acting point of view, and I experienced it from singing. And that's what I meant to say when I in enthusiasm I say today I became a real singer. I'm gonna leave it there. That was day 20. I'll see you tomorrow.